Hello, Daisy. Thank you. I thought I'd do a presentation on SMART goals and how to make resolutions that stick. So it's going to be a short presentation, and then we're going to do a hypnosis session to connect with a future version of you. So why we need goals? So there's a Stoic proverb which says, if you don't know which port you're sailing to, no wind is favourable. So when we set goals, it's like if you were driving somewhere and there was a roadworks or something, if you know what your destination is, you can plan a way around that roadworks and get to your destination. But if you are traveling somewhere, driving somewhere, you don't know where you're going, you know, you come to a roadworks or, you know, some kind of obstacle, you're not going to be able to get around it because you don't know where you want to go. It's the same as with a plane. You know, a pilot, they fly the plane, you know, and with a destination in mind, and it means that they can land it safely. So some things that you need to consider whenever you're setting goals is, do you know where you're going? And is it going to be congruent to what you want with your overall life? And the other factors that we're about to cover. So we're going to be looking at SMART goals, and SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And this concept comes from NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And so specific. So your goal needs to be specific. Otherwise, you won't be able to focus your efforts or feel truly motivated to achieve it. So when you're considering your goal, you need to ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish? Why is this goal important to me? And I think Tony Robbins says, if you have a big enough why, you'll always find the how. Who is involved? So who do I need to help me achieve my goal? And where is it located? Which resources will I need? It needs to be measurable. So it's important to make your goals measurable. If you have a measurable goal, you can track your progress and stay motivated towards it. So when you're creating a measurable goal, you need to think about how much, how many, how will I know when the goal is accomplished? So if your goal is to lose weight, you need to think about how much weight you want to lose. If your goal is to make money, because, you know, a lot of people say, I want to get rich. And what's rich? You know, you need to consider how much money you actually want. And attainable. Your goal needs to be attainable, needs to be realistic and achievable. So you need to believe that you can achieve the goal. Otherwise, you won't be able to stick to it. So you should create a goal that stretches your ability, but is still attainable. So you need to ask yourself, how can I achieve this goal? How realistic is this goal? Do I believe in my ability to achieve this goal? And am I in complete control of the factors related to achieving this goal? So you want to make sure that you can control everything. You know, again, if you make your goal that you want to make people or someone in particular like you, that's not a good goal. That's not an achievable goal because you're not in control of other people and you can't control, you know, how they feel about you. So, and finally, or nearly finally, penultimately, it needs to be relevant. So you need to consider, is the goal relevant to you and your life? Will achieving this goal have any negative effects on your life? So some people, you know, I've had weight loss clients in the past who come to me and they want to lose weight. But then after a few sessions, you know, we discover that their husband doesn't want them to lose weight and is causing issues, you know, within the marriage. So you need to consider if your goal is achievable and if it'll have any negative effects on your life. Do you have any secondary gains from the current behavior? So if your goal would be to stop smoking, you need to consider what you get from smoking. Some people think it helps them to stay slim, which it doesn't. Some people think it helps them to reduce stress, which it doesn't. But you need to consider what you're thinking it does for you and find ways to help with that behavior. So for example, if you think that smoking helps you to cope with stress, you need to find a new way to address that. It could be breathing exercises, or could be planning breaks throughout the day. You need to ask yourself, is achieving the goal worthwhile? Is now a good time for you to be achieving the goal? And how will the goal affect your family or relationships? And one of the people from Dragon's Den, I think Peter, I don't know what his surname is, he had a bar in Windsor, and he writes about it in his biography. He had a bar in Windsor, and he'd recently gotten divorced. His wife wanted child support money from him. Peter Jones, that's the one. Thank you, Mike. His wife wanted child support money from him, and he just wasn't making any money from this bar, so he had to give it up in the end. It wasn't a good time for him to be working towards that goal. So consider if it's relevant. And finally, is it time bound? So you need to give your goal a completion date so that you have something to work towards. Having a deadline to reach your goal by keeps you focused, stops you from being distracted, stops you from procrastinating, and it helps you develop a plan. It also helps you plan create a plan of action. So you can consider, what can I do towards this goal today? What can I be doing next week? What can I be doing next month? So you can break your goal down when it's time bound. So why use hypnosis to help you achieve your goals? So the emotional part of your brain cannot tell the difference between a real and imagined event. No problem, Miranda. I'm recording it, and it will be put on YouTube. So I will message everyone the link to it afterwards. So what goals does everyone have? Does anyone have any goals that they want to share with us in the chat? Let me know. let me know in the chat box what goals you have. Bettering your health. Gain 5 kilograms of muscle mass. Excellent. So how could we make better in your health a SMART goal, Daisy? That's not specific. How can we make it, how could you make it more specific? What would better in your health look like? Yep. What would the parts be? And reducing anxiety. Again, when you think about these goals, you want to frame them in the positive. So rather than saying my goal is reducing anxiety, you want to consider it that your goal is to feel more confident. And then you want to think about how you know when you're more confident. What will you be doing differently when you're more confident? And create a goal around that. So same, exercise more and lose weight. Yep. But how much weight? How much weight would you want to lose? And what would be the time scale on that losing weight? So you need to, as I said, you need to make it specific, attainable, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So yeah, you need to be more specific. Mike's gain 5 kilograms of muscle mass, that's specific. What's the time frame on that, Mike? Have you got a date in mind? Excellent. Yep, you need to make a plan for each of them. Daisy, yes. By the 31st of March. Excellent. Okay, so is that attainable? Do you believe that that's attainable? Yep, that's a good one. So yeah, lose 2 stone by June, but what specific date in June? You need to be more specific around the time frame on that. Yeah, I'd say 5 kilograms by March is, yep, you'd have to be, you'd probably need some kind of roids or something to manage that one, Mike. Maybe like within a year might be more realistic. Okay, so using hypnosis, we can envisage ourselves the way we want to be, and this builds new neural pathways in the brain, which allows us to start to associate ourselves that way. So the more we envisage ourselves the way we want to be, the stronger those neural pathways will become. So I'm going to do some exercises to show you the power of your mind. Those of you that have attended my workshops before will be familiar with some of these exercises. I try and come up with new ones, but I'm running out on them. So first of all, I'd like you to hold your hands out in front of you like that, and then turn your left hand palm facing up, right hand palm facing down, and close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and just let it out. And I'd like you to imagine that in your left hand we've placed some heavy leather-bound books, and to your right hand we've tied some helium balloons. And those helium balloons are rising up as the heavy leather-bound books are causing that left hand to drift lower. Just imagine the right hand rising up as the left hand drifts lower. Just imagine that now. And then leaving your hands as they are, open your eyes and notice the change there. So did you get much change there? Let me know in the chat box. Excellent. No, but your left arm felt heavy. Anyone else? A little? Yep. Fabulous. Okay. So something else we can do. Don't do this one if you have a bad back. Point your right hand out in front of you. Excellent. Point your right hand out in front of you. And then without turning your lower body, just twist round at your torso. And notice how far round you can go. And make a note of where you've gotten to. And come back to sitting in the middle, sitting straight. And now close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, I'd like you to imagine yourself going round further. If you want, you can imagine yourself going all the way round. It's only in your mind. Just imagine that now. And then open your eyes. And now, once again, pointing the right hand out. And without moving your lower body, just twisting your torso. Just twist round and see how much further you can go round this time. Let me know in the chat box if you're able to go around further. Yes? Excellent. Thank you. Excellent. Cool. Okay, so now we're going to do something called finger magnets. So take your hands, clasp them together like that, and stick the two fingers out like you're James Bond. And then I'd like you to take a deep breath in Close your eyes, and with your eyes closed, imagine those two fingers. Imagine we've attached a magnet to those fingers and they're being pulled together, being magnetized together. Just imagine them coming together. Just imagine that. And when they've touched together, open your eyes and let me know in the chat box. Just imagine. I think I did actually, to be honest. Let me know in the chat box if that worked for anyone. Yes, thank you. No. Anyone else? Okay, we're going to have to do another one now to make up for that. Okay, so sit comfortably and close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, I'd like you to imagine that you're walking into your kitchen. And there on the worktop is an orange. And it's sitting on a cutting board and there's a knife next. I'd like you to imagine that you're picking up that knife safely and securely, cutting that orange in half and then cutting it into a quarter. Maybe cutting that quarter again into an eighth, into a bite-sized chunk. And just imagine picking that piece of orange up and placing it, lifting it to your mouth and biting down on that orange. As you do that, imagine those juices coming out of the orange and dripping down your face, dripping off your chin. Just imagine that. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Let me know in the chat box if you salivated when we did that. Yep. Cool. Excellent. Fabulous. Okay. Fantastic. So now, going back to the presentation. Some things that you need to consider when you're thinking about these goals is, are they congruent to the person that you want to become? Are they congruent with your current life? Are these goals positive for you on every level? How will your life change? Who will notice first? And what will their reaction be? And consider, do you deserve the positive changes? Sometimes if we feel that we don't deserve something, we can sabotage ourselves in trying to achieve it. So give yourself some thought on that. Consider if you would feel that you deserve it. If you feel that something stops you from achieving it, something standing in your way. So that's some things to consider. Okay. So now, coming back to the hypnosis. As I said, the emotional part of the mind can't tell the difference between a real or an imagined event. And as I showed you with those exercises, the mind can create all kinds of things just by imagining them. It's very powerful. So using hypnosis, we're going to help you to see yourself achieving these goals and create those new neural pathways in your brain so that you can start to go down that path to getting what you want. So hypnosis is a deeply relaxing state. It's a state of focused attention. If you've ever driven somewhere, got to your destination, not remembered the journey, that's hypnosis. If you've ever been watching TV, zoned out, TV program finished, and it was time for bed, and you didn't know where the time had gone, that would be a state of hypnosis. If you've ever been reading a book and been completely engrossed in the book and time's just flown by, that would be a state of hypnosis. So hypnosis is a focused state of attention. It's not sleep. You'll be aware of everything that's going on around you at all times. But it is a state in which positive change can occur. And when we use hypnosis, we're looking to utilize the theta brainwave state, and this is thought to be a hyper-learning state. It's part of the REM sleep cycle. So when you access the REM sleep cycle, you dream. And so one of the things, benefits of the REM sleep cycle is that it improves your ability to imagine and visualize and see yourself achieving your goals. So if you'd like to make yourselves comfortable, as I said, hypnosis is a perfectly natural state, but it's not good for people that suffer with epilepsy. So if you suffer with epilepsy, don't do this hypnosis session. So make yourselves comfortable, sit back. I'd like you to start off with your eyes open. Find a point on the ceiling or the wall in front of you. It could be a piece of flaking paint or spots. It could be a point where the ceiling meets the wall. any point out in front of you. Just allow your eyes to focus on that point. And as you do that, you may begin to notice your breathing getting deeper, beginning to slow down. You may begin to notice yourself breathing all the way down into your stomach. I don't want you to go into hypnosis all at once. You can just drift into relaxation until you suddenly realize that you're in a state of trance. So just keep focusing on that spot and keep noticing your breathing, your in-breath and your out-breath. Focusing on those eyelids. You may begin to notice those eyelids becoming heavy. You may start to wonder if that blink is slower than the last blink. At some point those eyelids are gonna become so heavy that they just close down as if all by themselves. And when that happens, you can allow yourself to completely let go. You just continue focusing on those eyelids. Maybe you will go into trance now, or maybe you will drift for a while first. Just keep focusing on those eyes and the eyelids. Just notice those eyelids becoming heavier and heavier. I wonder if you can remember a time of relaxation. A time when you just completely and totally at ease. And if you haven't already closed those eyes, you can just allow them to close down them. And find yourself going into a deep state of trance. Because your unconscious mind is preparing everything you need to be successful, to achieve those goals. And as your unconscious mind prepares everything, I'd like you to just consider your goals. Consider what you want to achieve. Consider the time frame that you want to achieve those goals by. All the time you can continue breathing deeply all the way down into your stomach, noticing your belly rising, falling, noticing yourself becoming more and more relaxed, more and more at ease. And just scanning around your body. Just notice if you have any tension anywhere. Maybe you can find the most relaxed parts of your body. Just imagine that relaxation spreading out. Maybe you can imagine relaxation flowing all the way down from the top of your head to the very tips of your toes. Maybe you can remember a time when you've been completely relaxed, completely at ease, drifting, dreaming. And in a moment, I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. I wonder if you can imagine yourself standing safely, securely at the top of some stairs. And there's a handrail. And as I count, with each step, you're going to become more and more relaxed, more and more at ease. You're going to drift down those stairs safely, securely, with each step taking you deeper and deeper into that wonderful state of trance, of comfort and relaxation. So start counting now, 10, taking those first steps. 9, 8, 7, 6. It can be almost as though there's a tiny voice in the back of your head telling you to just relax, relax, relax. 5, 4, drifting deeper and deeper down. 3, 2, almost there now. 1. After 1 comes 0. I wonder if you can imagine yourself drifting through the middle of that 0 into a velvety, soft nothingness, to a place where all things are possible. Just listening to the sound of my voice. Any other sound you hear can allow you to relax even more. And now I wonder if you can imagine yourself becoming even more comfortable, even more at ease. In a moment, I'd like you to start counting backwards from 300 in your mind. And with each number you count, I'd like you to just allow yourself to become even more relaxed. And at some point you can relax those numbers right out of your mind. And when that happens, you can notice that you've noticed yourself completely and totally at ease. So you can start counting now. I will count with you. 300. Just telling yourself to relax, relax, relax. 299. 298. 296. I wonder if you can imagine doubling that relaxation with every number that you count, becoming more and more at ease. And now, I'd like you to imagine yourself drifting up out of your body, looking back at that version of you resting there. And off ahead of you is your future. I wonder if you can imagine yourself drifting off along that timeline into the future, seeing a future version of you, a future version of you having achieved your goals. Maybe you can see yourself in situations reacting differently, or maybe people complimenting you on changes you've made, complimenting you on how good you look, how big your muscles are, how much weight you've lost. Really experience that now. Drift down and connect with that future version of you. See through their eyes. Feel what they feel. Hear what they hear. Maybe you can feel a sense of achievement, of joy. Just imagine how good it will feel to have achieved those goals. As you do that, I'd like you to focus on your body. Focus on your hands. See if you can notice any difference between those hands. Maybe the left hand feels slightly lighter than the right hand. Maybe the right hand feels slightly warmer than the left. Just really sense down into those hands. I'd like you to ask your unconscious mind if it can delete anything that's been standing in your way. If it can remove any old programming that may be stopping you from achieving those goals. And if it's willing to do that, it can give you a signal. Maybe a twitch of a finger or thumb. It may be an image coming to your mind. Just take a moment to connect with that unconscious and allow it to give you that signal. And then once again connecting with that future version of you. Just see if you can get any kind of message or plan from that future version of you. Maybe they can show you the steps to help you achieve those goals. What will be the first step you take? What will be the second step? Just imagine yourself taking those steps successfully. It could be going to the gym and lifting weights, maybe gradually increasing those weights. It could be walking a set amount every day. Maybe that amount could gradually increase, maybe turn into a run. Just get some ideas from your future self. As you continue connecting with the future you, maybe smiling to yourself either then or now, noticing how good it feels. And in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. When I reach the number 5, you can open your eyes, come back to the present, noticing how good you feel. Noticing that things have begun to change, that you have begun to change. And I wonder what you'll notice when you notice those changes taking effect. So as I start counting now, 1, multiplying every positive feeling, every positive thought you've ever had about yourself. 2. Feel that energy rising up through your body. Maybe you'd like to wiggle those fingers and toes. 3, 4. And after 4 comes 5, and you can open your eyes, come back to the present, noticing how good you feel. Maybe you'd like to stretch and yawn.